yeah, I know he still has more gears inside of him, which is really scary.
Because his ceiling is still extremely high.
Growing up, I remember playing basketball almost every day of my life, or at least thinking about it or watching it on TV. My mom always used to run me around, and between me and my brother playing football, I just remember her signing me up for LCYB basketball camp. You know, I began to grow out of that league, and she had to move me over back to Gary. And once I got there, I remember not being the best one. I was probably the worst. You know, I couldn't even catch the ball without traveling to do anything.
My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty and despair.
Glenn is definitely a workaholic. He's very dedicated. Starting, I believe, the freshman year, sophomore year, junior, and senior year, he stayed in the gym up at the school every morning. He would get up way before me. And a lot of mornings I had to get up and drop him off early to school for the gym so he can get in there and practice and get some shots up. But then Coach Malazny came along and he saved me probably about a year's worth of going up there early. So he would come by the house in the mornings and pick him up for school.
Once I got to high school, my freshman year, I shot with two hands. I shot the ball with two hands. I wasn't that good of a player, but I was a good enough athlete to get to the rim and attack the rim and do things that other players couldn't do at times. But in order to make it to the next level, I knew I had to change my shot. And that's where my high school coach, Dave Malazny, really came into play. He woke me up at 5:30 in the morning, outside, honking the horn, calling my phone. You know, it was some days that I didn't want to get up. I was tired. You know, he even woke my mom up a couple times. So that process was terrible, and I hated it. But you know, to look back, all that hard work paid off.
He's very dedicated. He'd go before school and work out. Then after school he would go, and then he got with the trainer where he would go and work out. So he definitely is a hard worker, and hopefully that will pay off. It's been paying off so far, so we'll keep it going.
Following Glenn's freshman year, I used to pick him up about 5:30 in the morning, and at the very beginning he wasn't very excited about it like a lot of 15-year-olds are, and pulling his driveway and honked the horn a few times, and I had to wait for him. And you know, we come into school, set up a shooting gun, he'd get 500-600 shots up before school. And as it progressed throughout high school, eventually, you know, especially when he got his license, he started beating me up to school. And it's kind of just become second nature for Glenn to, you know, get his workout in before school. And his work habits have dramatically improved. And, you know, if there's a long-lasting legacy that he's had, you know, on my program, it's how, you know, working before school or early morning, getting shots up can benefit your game. So even though he's been gone a couple of years, he still has a big effect on our program, because a lot of kids remember seeing him come in at 5:30 in the morning and shoot before school.
My name is Andrew Wallen. I am a personal trainer for Glenn Robinson III. I just want to say that my time working with him into the freshman year and through this whole journey has been pretty amazing. He came to me as a very skinny, for lack of better terms, athlete looking to improve overall athletic development in his basketball game, and I think we were able to achieve that. hard work is second to none. There's nobody that I've trained or worked with that has worked as near as hard and has done all the things on and off the court and in and out of the gym. Biggest attributes is nutritionally, everything he's followed from workouts outside of here to workouts in the gym has been amazing. Just a pleasure to work with, and can't wait to continue the journey.
By the time I got to my sophomore year, I was starting to get my first couple looks at colleges. My first college offer was from Valpo University, a local college around here. After that, I started to get a couple lower D1 schools, and then I got my first big-time offer from the University of Michigan.
For Michigan, at forward, number 1, Glenn Robinson III.
Once I got that Michigan offer, I was pretty excited. You know, and going on a couple tours there around campus, I really loved Michigan, and you know, I thought that was my dream school and the place to be. So that's where I made my choice. You know, and those 2 years that I spent at Michigan was crazy. You know, been to back-to-back Elite Eights, been to Final Four national championship, done and seen a lot of things that people, you know, the average person doesn't see. So being able to play in front of 75,000 people was, you know, a crazy experience, and having my family and friends support throughout the whole process was a unique experience.
One of the things about being a high school coach is that you get a chance to see kids develop from when they come in as a freshman to where they end up when they leave here as a senior. And Glenn was one of the best kids at making the biggest strides with his time here. He came in and really wasn't good and had a bad shot, and listened to things that Coach Mlazek was saying and took it to heart, and you know, made those weaknesses become his strength. And he was a kid that didn't know if he was going to be able to play college basketball his first year, and then by his second year he was, and then by the time he was leaving, he was one of the best players in the state of Indiana. And you know, that's credit to him and his parents and the type of work ethic that he has. And yeah, I know he still has more gears inside of him, which is really scary because his ceiling's still extremely high.
So I believe it was like his junior year, Michigan was recruiting him, and he went to a basketball camp there. And leaving the camp, all the coaches were around and everything. And leaving the camp, I could tell there was something he liked about it, and the coaches liked him. And shortly after, they wanted him to come back, and they started calling and everything. I didn't think much of it at first, but they started calling and showing a lot of interest in him, and that just ran on. So that's where he ended up. We really loved University of Michigan. The coaches were really nice, Coach Meyer and Beeline. Yeah, I don't know what I would have done without them. Very nice coaches. And so leaving there from LC to Michigan, well, first of all, when I dropped them off, I cried for 3 days straight. I really did. 3 whole days I cried in the bed. I didn't want to be bothered with anybody. And finally I got over myself, and it turned out to be, you know, the very best experience, I believe, for him and for us. He became a very good student at Michigan, a very good basketball player, and the experiences he had that I've had, you know, will last our lifetime. The journey that he did there for the 2 years and making it to the Final Four and the Elite Eight this year is just fantastic, and we'll always remember those. And those are very special times.
You know, I think that kind of like Michigan, you know, they took a chance on Glenn, and he was one of the winningest players to go through Michigan in a 2-year span, and someone's going to do the same thing where they take a chance on him and are going to be really happy with the results.
In regards to, you know, Glenn's draft, you know, I couldn't speak, I'm a high school coach, I couldn't speak exactly where he should go, but in knowing Glenn and watching what he's done since 7th grade on, he's nowhere near the player he's going to be. and I can just see him just continuing to get better, much like Paul George when he was drafted and how he's continued to get better. And I can see Glenn elevating his game for years to come. Some kids peak at 18, some kids peak at 20. I don't think Glenn's anywhere near where he's going to be at the age of 25, 27. Wherever he's going to go in the draft, one thing's for sure is they're going to win a lot of games. When he played for me at Lake Central, he had a span of 3 years that we won the most games in the history of Lake Central in that span. When he's at Michigan, he's there for 2 years, and they set a record for wins in those 2 years. So there's a pattern there. Glenn's a winner. And there's no doubt in my mind that if he finds a team in the NBA that there's going to be a span of years where they set a record for wins. So ultimately, if I had to peg Glenn for one thing, it's he has a history of winning, and he's going to do whatever it takes to win.
Him choosing to leave school and go to the NBA was a very hard decision. You know, I think school is like the most important thing for him and his brother. So definitely that was a hard decision, but I made him promise that he will continue school and get his degree, which, you know, means a lot. I'm telling him he can't get very far without it. So you still need a degree. I don't care how many balls you can bounce. You need a degree, that's for sure. This process of going into the NBA, it's taken a lot of prayers and everything, but I believe that he has everything that it takes to become a successful NBA player. It's going to be real hard work for him. I believe he's ready, you know, to take on the challenge and to get in there and work out and prove himself to everyone. There's a lot of doubters out there, but you're going to have those people, you know, no matter what, and in every situation, everybody is, you know, doubting you. So I believe that challenge is he wants to prove everyone wrong. And, you know, me being his mother, I'm behind him 100%. So I believe he can do it. I have faith. We, you know, pray constantly that he stays in good health and everything. So with that, there's no doubt in my mind that he won't make it to the top.
After declaring to go to the NBA draft, you know, I was hearing a lot of negative talk before and after. But at the same time, the biggest support was from my family, and they really helped me through the process. And seeing what I had to do, you know, I know it's going to be hard work, but just after declaring, stuff has already gotten crazy. I mean, hundreds of text messages, getting to know people like Kevin Durant, Paul George, talking to different players, seeing what they think, you know, met a couple celebrities. So the whole process I've really enjoyed so far. You know, I just can't wait to get started. Once I find out what team I'll be on, that's really going to be exciting. But this summer I'll be in LA training. Then June 26th is the NBA draft, so stay tuned, and I'm going to take you a little bit through my workouts before I get there.
SG Flow, you a must for this one.